This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So what is this portal is? So see example. So if at all you want to learn some SQL Server or you want to learn some business intelligence, Microsoft Business Intelligence like SSIS or SSRS, SSAS, or you want to learn Microsoft Power BI, you want to learn. What you do? You get some software downloaded from Microsoft site, that is trial version, right? You download trial version and you install onto your desktop, right? Either that is your desktop or laptop. Then you start doing it for your self learning or whatever would be. You do it. But when you go to the cloud, this is not, because cloud is something like, so Microsoft is providing you cloud. It's not about Microsoft only, any cloud vendor. What they do is the cloud vendor is providing you different services that you can create and access them over internet, right? So whatever you want to create, so different service, so example, so different services, so we have different services. If you go to this portal, go to this portal.azure.com. So go here, so click onto this. So this is a portal, so you'll get a free trial version. This is a portal. So here, as I told you, so they is providing different services. What is this services called? So we in cloud we call them as resources. These services are called as resources here. So go here, click on create resource. So you get different resources. Go to machine learning. So AI and machine learning, you have got this all. If you go to analytics, you got SQL analysis service, Power BI, Azure Databricks, Synapse Analytics, this all. If you go to blockchain, you got different. If you go to compute, you got virtual machine. If you go to containers, you got. If you go to databases, you can see SQL Manage, Database, Cosmos DB, like this. Similarly, if you go to the storage, so you got. So there's many services you have, but where you are creating these services, you are creating these all services in public cloud, right? You're creating in Microsoft. So if at all you go for Azure, it's Microsoft data center. In Microsoft center data center, assume it might be in US. So US has got different regions. If you go to UK has different regions. If at all you go to Australia, if at all you if at all you go to India, so yeah, so these resources are getting in their data centers. But how do you connect? So it's not a physically available for you, right? Like laptop or desktop. If it is physically available, like the way you connected now to attend this meeting. So what did you do in the morning to attend this meeting? You have opened your laptop, you have on the switch, power is getting supplied, you have on the laptop, then you have logged into that and using mouse you connected. So because that physical machine was existing, because it was your laptop or desktop at your home, then you have physically on it. But these services which Microsoft is giving is getting created in some data center which are not near to you, which are some thousands miles away from you. right? How do you connect to that? So it is public cloud, means you can access over the internet wherever you have internet, at any point of the world, at any corner of the world, wherever you have, you can access that. So these all, so you are getting, so you create many of the resources, like I shown you. Go to this computer, create a virtual machine. So the same example, you have your office. So you have office of 3 to 4 locations, like UK, Australia, Netherlands, Europe, India you have. So if at all you want to connect a machine which is in UK or US, how do you connect? You just open your remote desktop. Why you open this remote desktop and click here? Because your machine, from which machine you are trying to connect to the other machine in the US. So your machine and other machine which in the US are onto same network, office network. So you go here, you provide some IP address and just a click here. Then it will ask you the credentials of that and you start working. So that is what you have done with the case of office. The same thing here also. You create these resources. But the thing is, but the difference here is the resources of you, which is in other location. So that was controlled. So example, you have your office. So India, UK, Europe, right? Australia. Like this, you have other countries. So these 3 locations. So these all 4 locations would be on the same network, and this is managed and controlled by office, your office net man force only. So your machine and other machines are on the same network. So you can either you can connect with remote desktop RDP like this, or else you can go and open. So if at all you wanted to connect to some SQL server, what do? You open this management studio like this, and you take that IP address. So you provide that IP address, you provide that Windows credential, because you are using Office credential. You go with Windows credential because it gets your domain and your name, your company domain. Then you click here, so you get connected even though that machine is in US, but you are working from India. Why? Because you are all office or same network. Here also the same thing. When you go to public cloud, these also public. So this is getting created in public. So here there is no restriction. So wherever, so you need not be, so the one you are creating in other network in data center, but you are trying to connect from your home, which is different enough network. Even though you work from the office network, or your personal from home, which you use different internet broadband, you are also onto different network. But there is a cloud sitting at that is resource sitting in data center with US. So there, then how do you connect? So you connect over the internet. So this is what is cloud. So they are just telling you, we provide you different services. You just create access over them over the internet. Remaining responsibility is mine, ours. That is not mine, that is vendor. We take care of you. What is that? So what is that they are going to take care is replication or high availability, right? So we take care of migration. This is only one time job. Migration is, now till now you were into on-premise. Now customer want to move entire thing, entire resources which were with the customer. What are the resources? He has many number of applications. That all resource were till now it was on premise, on different local machines. You want to migration. Now upgradation. So lower version, to higher version. So this is what they are trying to, they are telling you. So in this, so they take care. So they don't even ask you when they are doing it. So in case of upgradation, they don't ask you. In case of migration, when you say, they do it. But in case of, what is this replication? So example, so I'm creating this. What is that example? Let's go and create a database here. So I'll go here, I'll create a database. So I'll take some new resource group. We'll talk what is that resource group. Once this is over, we'll talk. Now I'm creating a resource group. So there's some subscription. Is this got ended or what? 1 minute. There's no subscription available. Okay, let me do one thing. I just go and get. I have that subscription. Let me go and get. A bit. So okay. Once you become a Microsoft certified trainer, then you'll get all these things. So you can do it. Now go there. Just put that key. Let me redeem that. Okay, accept. Sign up here. Okay, so let me log in here. Okay, right. So now I'll go and create a resource group here. So let's just delete this one. So let me go to this view bill. Yeah, I've just redeemed it. Okay. Now go to this resource group here. Let me create a resource group. So GI fun some morning batch like this, some name. Why is that? I'll tell you later. Now click on review. So disable. So we are already taking a new one. Nah? You want to sign out? Let me sign out and sign in. Go to, let me create resource group here. You my bell 1 minute. Just so you're getting here, then why? What is the problem getting in there? You all okay? So which I want to have show only active. Okay. So let's go there. Now go and create a resource group. This problem I'm getting here. Just give me 1 minute. Invoices. Download allow you. Yes. So okay now. Uh, let's see invoices. Properties here. What it is happening, it is not trying to give you the appropriate one. So it is taking something else. So it should only take the active one, but it is taking the other ones also. Let me take this. This is what it is happening. You need to filter. So it should only take your active one, not all the one. Just give me 1 minute. This click on this filter. It might take reflect. Go to this subscriptions here. Click here. Okay. Here. So here it is not showing up. That is a problem. If I go here, so only active, then apply this. So it is not showing. So if I go do then global filters. So current to you change this 1 minute.
Can go to more options if after active is the red dots, three
No, no,
dots.
no, this one.
Yeah.
No, it is not working. That is what making problem here. So if I filter, now it has got a, let me see enough active. Okay, apply this. Now I've selected this active one only. This is active, not available. Okay. So Yes, now you are getting. So we have done that. We wanted to go with, right? Okay, so right. So I'll go here. I'll get something called morning, right? Batch something resource group. Click on review. Click on create. So you created the resource group. What do you mean by resource group here? So there is some hierarchy in our Azure cloud. So tenant, then you have subscriptions, then you can have a resource groups, then you'll have a resources. This is how the hierarchy is. So from top to bottom. So leave over the subscription, we'll talk on that. What is this resource group? So generally you work with different projects. So different projects you work. Not only you, in your company you have different projects. So you give a particular name. So this project, so project one requires something called SQL Server and Azure Storage or Azure Data Factory. This all. Then project two requires something called virtual machine. So it requires data lake store generation to some resource. It requires Azure Databricks. So these are the two projects. So what you do, you give some project name, some name to this resource group so that these all resources would be tagged to this resource group. And what is resources? Whatever you create a SQL server, you create a storage account, you create data factory, you create a virtual machine, you create a data lake store, you create a Databricks. Everything that you create is a resource. But you just create and leave will not work here. So you need to tag that resource to which project that belongs. So here what you do, you create a resource group like what you do. So you create a customer name dot hyphen. So RG as a project, RG, that is resource group hyphen something called project name. So you're giving a resource, nothing but a name to that resource group. And in that resource group, you will try to place these all resources. You'll place here the resources. So these resource belongs to this particular project. So resource group is nothing but a storage repository, nothing but a logical container of all the resources of particular project. So this is nothing but a name. It doesn't nothing to do with that. You give some name to that resource group, and whatever the resource that are required to this project. So this resource. So whatever you create here, so you go create here. You can go and create a virtual machine. You can go and create a SQL server. You can go and create some storage here. So those are resources that you are creating. You are tagging to that resource group. So why you are tagging is this is only for identify because you want to know which all resource belongs to this project. Why? Because everything that you create in the cloud is built for every minute and every second. So tomorrow you want to know for billing, what is that? How much amount of the resource that are consumed for this project? Or if you at all you want your development is over, so you need to move from dev to unit testing, from unit testing to you need to move to UAT, then you need to move to SIT, then you need to move to prod. Then on what basis, if at all you are not creating as a single repository, so just if at all you go to the versioning control also you do the same thing, right? You put a project name and you put all the resource there and do check in, check out. So same thing here, you are giving, so you are creating these all resources you are creating for development. So these all resources you are putting into one project called resource group. And these why you are So Microsoft has not told that you need to follow this one. You need to have a tenant, you need to have a subscription, you need to have a resource group, you need to have a resource. Microsoft has not told. This is for our convenience, because if at all you don't create a resource like this, so you have not created, assume you have not created a resource group called project, you have not created a resource group, but you want to give some name and you want to create this all the resources for the project. This is all okay, you can go, but later of point of time, when you want to move from one environment to other environment, then what do? You go to individual resource and check that this belongs to that particular project, this resource belongs to project one. So you go to SQL Server, you verify where for which project you want. You go to data lake store generation 2 or generation you for which project. Databricks, data, is that you do it, you can do, but at some point of something goes wrong, then you'll not able to get back. So that all happens. So to overcome that problem, Microsoft has told that you need to follow this hierarchy to make your things easy. So example, if you go here, so you can see here tenant, subscription, resource group hierarchy. Just go there. So management groups. So one tenant, that is called, we call this management groups as tenant also. Subscriptions. In this one tenant, you can have multiple subscriptions. So in this subscription, you can see this resource group. So this resource group is containing virtual machine, some resource, and this is containing SQL Server, this is containing other resources. So you can see management groups are the following image relation between these tables. So you can see resource group. These are logical containers where you can deploy and manage your resources. What is resource? These are the instance of resource that you create, right? Na? So Microsoft has not told these all to do it. It's all up to you. How do you do it? So how do you create this? So this is what they have told. So make your life easier. You create this resource group for each and every project. Create that resource to each and project. Tag that resource to that project. This is what you do it. Subscription management group. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, right. So you'll need not worry. This you'll get automatically when you do it. When you start learning, you need not have specifically to learn anything. Okay, so you'll get to know when you're doing working in our examples also. Okay, this is how you do it. So there are many things. Just have understanding what is that resource group, what is the resources. Just have that understanding that should help you to what is that. Okay, right. Now let's go. So now what we'll do is we'll talk. Yesterday we were talking about a storage account. So storage repositories. So when you talk on storage repository here, we have two things called Azure Storage Account and Azure Data Lake Store Gen 1. We have Azure Data Lake Store Gen 2. So here I told this is going to get deprecated. So they are no more using it. So they are using it, but they have told till 2024 you have. Let's go and see what made you to have these three different storages. So each one is compatible for one purpose. So what is that? We'll see. How is that data getting stored? How do you access that? What mechanisms you use it? Because each and so this is one resource, right? You're putting some. So you put this is for. I told yesterday you can put anything like audio file, video file, photographs, or documents, These are nothing but static. You don't do anything. These are static. You just throw there and keep it. So for any website that you want to use it, you can use it. But we do some processing of data. Processing that. So you get daily files from customer, right? Daily you will get files. So what is that? So customer is going to place the files here. So if you see here, so this is customer environment. So he has put these all into some FTP location. So here you have, so here you have FTP location or SFTP location or a shared drive, right? Similarly, this is customer location, customer environment. But so this is not one-time job, this is daily job. What is that? He is going to put the files daily like this. So here also, these are the daily files. Now go there, take this cloud here. Okay, take this. So here you need to process. So you have, so here you have a storage account. So here you have blob. So we have three types of storages. So what is that storages is? So we have something called Azure storage hyphen ADLS, that is Azure Data Lake Storage Generation 1, Generation 2 we have. So what you do? You copy these files here. You copy files here. You copy files, right? You copy here. So daily files you need to copy it because you have something called data factory. So example, you have something data factory or you have got something called Databricks. So these are two because you do some processing. So as we spoke, this is for batch processing, right? So this is ADF. So here this is for real-time processing. So this is ADF, right? So these two are different resources. Then these two has to take the resource from this, right? So this has to take the resource from here and process. This also has to take resource and process. This is how you do it. So ultimately you get these resources to here. So what type of, so why do you have these three? So you can have only one, nah? What made you to have these three here? That is that is that is only now when Microsoft is giving, so you have the same thing, right? Why do you have, you are telling the storage and you are telling three different resources, but all three different you are telling as a storage only. What is the difference between one, that is one, two, three? There should be some specific for storage one should be specific for one, storage two should be specific. So here, right. So this is meant for static data. Example, so this all the static you don't do with this. What you'll do, nothing you'll do. What you do with audio file, what you do with video, with what you do with photographs, what you do with the documents. So you use this as a statics to other web application or to some, so terms and conditions you put document, you put a photograph when the person is trying to buy any articles or any things on the internet. These all, but this is all okay. And here the next thing, so you have applications. So people have to take regular backups, right? So backups, you have databases. This also you need to take regular backups, right? So your application is running last 15 or 20 years. So customer has told you just take archive of that archive of first 5 years, 5 years, and where do you put this then? Because first 5 years data they'll have it, but at later point of time some customer will come and ask what you do. So you need to give the data, right? So this type of taking backup, taking these all static data, you don't do anything. You just take the data from here and you put here, from here you take this and load it there somewhere, you copy. So for that process you just have to go with the PowerPoint. Yeah, you have to put into Azure storage account. You don't play with the data, but you get the real time data, right? So example, you have a web application running or a data constantly coming in. So like so real time data. So like IoT devices, IoT or sensor devices, right? So you have go to outer ring road, ORR. So there would be some cameras placed there. So they keep on extracting data. The people who are going above the speed of 80 kilometers, you get a challan. So how do you do that all? Those all happened. So these are real time data coming in. If you go to that hospital, so you have electronic devices put onto body of people. So this all would be there. So this is real time data. Nothing but we call as streaming data. So you are getting data is getting streamed. So you put a CC footage in the apartment or any public locations. So data is getting streamed and getting returned to your some location, right? So you need to take, so instead of writing now you are directly, you need to directly connect to that machine, that CCTV footage, and extract that data. So that is also streaming data, right? So for that thing you need to go for this streaming and real time data. You go for this is how you do it. Okay, so let's see now, you have some common understanding now. So where you don't play with the data, you just copy the data from customer and load into SQL Server or some staging tables, you do it. But when you want to have a streaming and real time, you need to go with. So why, how you are telling that? How you can tell that you have to go for static? How you are telling this is for real time? So internal architecture. So I'll just tell you one. I'll show you one PPT, then you will get an understanding. So let's go. So 201, 200. Where is implementing? Where is 200? Yeah, here we have. Now go to this. So yes. So working with data storage. So creating a data lake storage account and explain the data lake store. Upload there. We'll see that all. So best benefits of using Azure to storage to store the data and compare on-premise and Azure storage. So we'll talk on this replication, this all. So just leave. This is to create one basic difference you'll find here some. This is a. So when you go to blob, what is that blob and data lake? So let's create and come back. So I have, so this is blob. It is stored as a object here. You can see when you go to data lake, so you have hierarchical namespace. So did you see this? How you can navigate here? So similar like your Windows Explorer. How do you create? In Drive, you create, go and create a folder. Under that, you can create a subfolder. Under that, you can create subfolder. That is how you can go and keep on creating, and you can navigate there. But this is containing as a object. So that is the difference between your blob and data lake store. You want hierarchical namespace. So this hierarchical namespace is fit for doing your analytical processing of data for real time or analytical. But this is only for static data. Okay. So what is this blob? Let's go and see. So we'll talk on that. So I'll show you that example also. We'll talk on that. Now go to this. Now go there. So go to this Azure storage account. Click here. Okay. So now I'm taking the resource group, nothing but I want to create data lake storage generation 2. I want to map to this resource group. Assume like my project name is rg-morning-batch is a project name. And what are the resource that I require to that project, I'll tag to this resource group. That's all. Now go here, I'll give some name, stracc 26112021. So we'll talk on this all detail. Now go to advanced, go to, so here you have something called data lake storage generation 2. You can see Azure Data Lake Store enables big data workloads, file level access control. So they're telling you if at all you want to work on big data analytics, so for processing of data, so it accelerates. So internal, nothing internal. The way is this is how the data stores there. This is how the data. So based on this data, the way it stores, that compression or that type of, when you do the processing, the data gets processed very fast and given back to your user. So if you so now you are seeing. So yesterday also I was telling you. So yesterday someone was asking, go and create what is that Synapse. So yesterday when you are creating the Synapse Analytics, there also it was asking for data lake storage generation 2 only. You should have, if at all you don't remember, let's see. So go to the Synapse Analytics, create here. So now it is ask you data lake storage generation 2 only here. Just see, select. It's specifically telling you, we know that we have these 3 storages. We know this, we have 3. This is getting deprecated in 2024. We have much more time till 2024. But we have this storage account. We have these 2 also. But we have generation 2 also. Why it is specifically asking for generation 2? So here, because you are doing the, so you can see, so you're doing some because you are using this Synapse workspace. In this Synapse workspace you get Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, and SQL, Azure SQL Data Warehouse. So these all are used for processing and storing your data. So that is the reason it is specifically asking you. It is not asking for anything. It is specifically asking for data lakes. You can see there right now. This is how it happens. So let's go and create. So here so there is no, so yeah, I'm not enabling this, so you can see hierarchical namespace enable. So this one, right? So let's go and create networking. I've not enabled. If you see, I've not enabled. I'm still going with storage account only. Now networking, we'll talk on this. Data protection. We'll talk. So this data protection is nothing but, so it's similar like what is, so we'll talk. So when you delete file, that file would be retained for particular number of days. Days to retain blob, days to retain container, days to retain that files. Okay, we'll talk on that. Now go to tags here, review. So you're getting validated. So what are the, so when you create automatically inside your portal, it is going to create a ARM template, Azure Resource Template, Azure Resource Manager template. It is going to get created. Just see now, you whatever the what are the options, that is subscription, your resource group, location, name of the resource, your manager, resource manager. That is what I told, ARM, Azure Resource Manager. So it is using that. Performance, what is that replication, this all it is taking, right? Now click on create. Okay, so you can go to the resource here, right? So in this, when you go created the storage account, so here you have got data storage. Here you got container, files, queues, tables. So go to the container. See, so you're not concerned with the file shares, queues, tables. These are used by .NET applications. We are not going to use. We are only going to work with the container only. So click here. So here I'll give something called development. Okay, so it is asking for small letters only. Now click on create. So you have just created a container. Now go there. Now whatever you upload here, so you don't do this all manual. So you do it. So I told you that using Data Factory, you copy these all files from here to here using pipelines. Not, you don't do manual. So you do manual, but not every time. But once in a while, I'll tell you how to copy from customer location also without ADF. We have some different command called AZ copy. This all we'll do that. So now go here. Now we have something called upload. So you can see here. What is that upload? Blob. Whatever you upload into this container, so that is a blob. Nothing but you upload a file, you upload a audio file, you upload a video file, is a blob there. Anything that you upload. Okay, I'll just give here. So I'm trying to upload only the files from a local machine. Go to this. Go to the text file. I'm trying to upload these 3 files. Now upload here. So I'll give some data files here. Employees here. Now upload. Now try to refresh. So see here. Right? This is all okay, you have done. So there is a tool called ADF. You copy from your on-premise to here or from customer location to Azure. You do it using ADF. Now, how do, so this is what you can, how many number, so how many number of containers you can create? What is the limit in container? So we know that this automatically gets scale up. based on the size of data. So there is no restriction in size. In on-premise, if at all you want to increase the size, you need to get in purchase and do it. But here it not. You keep on pumping, automatically the size of that container gets increased. This is how you do it. So how many storage account you can create per subscription? Number of storage accounts. Just see. So size limit. Okay, go there. Not leave this. चल बेटे से बेटा. So you can see here. So storage limit per account. How many number of storage account you can create per region? 250. Maximum storage per 5 petabyte. So amount of ingression, data coming in, data going out, data coming in. So in US, what is the size of the speed in other regions? So like this, you can have n number of. So per region, you can create 250 Azure storage account, 250, and each storage account can have 5 petabyte of data. So there's no limitation here on creating. On so it is told per region, not per subscription. In this in individual subscription here, if you go here, so you can go here. So go to store. So go to the storage account here. If you create one more, so it is telling you the region you can create. For read one region, you can create 250 accounts, and each account can have 5 petabyte. So that all easy. You need not worry. Now, if you see this, if you go to the storage account, so let me close this also. Go to the storage account. Go here. So here you got container. You got file, queues, tables. So as I told you, files, queues, tables are used for not for data analytics. It's used for some .NET application, not for us. So you have container. In this container, you have created a blobs. In this blob, you have uploaded here. So if you have uploaded here, when you are uploading it, when you just try, now I am uploading other files here. If you come to advanced here, so did you see what is this block size? So block size is ranging for 64 to 100 MB. Why they have given? What is that 64? What is that 128? What is that 256 till 100 MB? So assume you have taken 256 KB of block size when you are uploading to this folder. You are uploading to development data files employees. In this folder, you are applying these 4 files, and the block size is 256 KB. Assume the size of files, the size is around some 2 GB, means 2 into 1 1024 KB is equal to, right? This is what. So sorry, 24 MB. So let's go with MB, not GB. MB. So this is right. So into KB is equal to 2B is 2048. Now it has converted into KB. Now what is the block size of mine? Block size is 256 KB. What is the file size now? Total file size 2024. Now you do divide 2048 by 256. 256 is equal to number of blocks. Why it is creating number of blocks here? Why the data is 2 MB of file? is getting, so you are multiplying because you are taking block size of 256 KB. So you have multiplied 2 MB into 1024, you got this much KB of, and this you are dividing by 256 block size. So it is getting. So assume you are getting equal to 9 blocks. Why that data is getting into 9 blocks here? So they want to do some parallel processing. So when they do parallel processing, the time taken to process would be very less. So this is how you do it. This is how. So that is the concept of this. But can we go and check that data is getting split into nine blocks? No, you don't have any option to check. We don't have any code. We can't go inside your storage account. See, that is all available in Hadoop and big data clusters, not here. In Azure, it is not available. So you have told that you have told to you can have, while uploading this, you can tell what size of data, what size of block size you wanted, but you can't go inside and see how that data is, how many number of blocks it is getting created. That we don't have. Okay, this is what. Now if you go to the storage account, so storage account, then how do you access this? So you created, so you need to access this store because this is a storage account name. So we have given some, we have the storage account name, right? We have container name, right? We have folder path that is called as data files employees. In that, here we have created something called development. Here we have created something called stracc 26112021. I understand this terminology is new. You will be facing some difficult to understand, but it is easy. There is, you need not remember. You need to, why you need to remember is because when you are claiming, you are claiming these all. So as you in the IT, as you get your experience, you are claiming as a architect or enterprise architect or solution expert. You claim because based on the experience, you need to lead a team or you need to lead a company also at some point of time. So this all you need to know. So you need to in tips on fingertips, you should know all this. So that is the reason you have taken. I know it is difficult, but once you go through the video for 1 2 times, you will also come to that position where you can speak with someone. So when you sit in front of the customer, what is that happening? I know because, so training is not meant to teach you ABCD of basic level. I think that that doesn't mean. So we go beyond the basics also. Some of the people feel difficult in understanding. Yes, I do agree for that. But if at all I go very down level, that would not help you. I can directly tell you some syntax and write this is what syntax. That syntax you can get it from internet also. Okay. Yeah. Now go to the storage account. You got, this is container name. This is the folders. So here you place some files like txt or csv or uh, xml or here json. So these files are to copy into some system like SQL or whatever would be. So we'll do that also. How do you copy from your storage account to your SQL server? Will tell you. I'll tell you. That is what we'll do tomorrow. This is, so how do you access? This is all okay. So here you have storage account. So here you have container. In this container, this is a development. Under that you have folders. This is all. Here you have files. This is all okay. Now go to the storage account here. If you come down, so there is something security and networking. In this you have access key. So keys here. So access, so you can see this in security. I'm in the storage account, not somewhere. This is my storage name. Under that overview pan, here unto security and networking, here I have access keys. So here access keys authenticate your application request to the storage. So here now example. So I told you from on-premise, you get into the storage account. From there you put it to Azure SQL database. Then how do you access? You want to copy from here to here. Then how do you access this one? Because this has got container, right? This is got. How do you access this? You can't go with the HTTP. That is not possible. That is possible, but you should not do with HTTP. You should not go with HTTP hyper protocol, this or hypertext protocols. So how do you access? So we have some mechanism called go to the storage account here, security and network. Here you have access keys. This key one, key two. So key one you have, key two you have. So these are meant. So using these access keys, you access to the storage account and store that files into the storage account. This is how you do it. Okay. So how do you, what is that you access? So this is up. So how do you access this? So you have was bs. So what is that? I'll tell you. Container underscore name at the rate storage account name dot blob dot core dot windows dot net. So what is this? So here it is. You need to give a container. So we have created development. So copy this. So give the development name. Then you give the storage account name. Right? This is a path. So what is this? This one. What is the W? W WASBS. W for Windows, A for Azure storage. So Azure, S for storage, B for blob, S for service. And here also you got blob only. So this is what, if you see, just see Windows Azure storage blob service. Go to internet. Right now. So you can see this is a file implemented extension built on top of HDFS. So everything is built on HDFS only. Most of Azure related to data. So to prove this, I'll prove. So they have told that HDFS APIs are used, right? I'll prove that when we are loading data. I'll show you. So this is, so how do you call? You can see here. So did you see this path? I'll just copy paste here. Right now, source. This is what I've told you. Is that not same with this? Here this, right now. What is this mounting? What is this? We'll talk later. So here you have keys here. key, right? So we'll talk. So this is a path, right? This one. The same thing is also used here, right? I'm telling that only. So syntactically, you need to write a code. So what is this container? What is this? Now come to this key here. What is this key? So key is this. So keys. So set. So these keys are created. So we don't have that flexible to create. They create Microsoft. So you want to set a rotation. So you can set a rotation to access key. Okay, this one. So there is something. So this is access key is what Microsoft has got created, but you can also generate this. Go there. So there is something shared access signature. Go there. So as we spoke, what are there? Container, file share, queue, tables, right? Here you have. So you can see shared access signature UI grants restricted access right to storage account resources. You can provide these resources to the client who should not be trust, right? This all are there. So out of these four services, that is container, file, queue, table. So blob here. So go to the container. So here you can see conversion, these all. So you set a start time and end date. So what is that? And IP address. So you put that IP address from which the request should come. So you place that IP address there. Only the request from coming from that IP address would be allowed to access the resources. That is access because you put the data right in the form of files or in the form of documents, in the form of video files or audio files, or you put something like photographs, images. So how do you allow that request to come from any machine to access, or you wanted to put only only those IP address from where the request should come? So here you have allow protocol. What is that protocol? You want to go with HTTP or HTTPS, secure transfer protocol, or hyper hypertext protocol. Here you can go and generate. So here you have key one. Go and generate. So connection string token. So this belongs to only the blob because you have taken four service, but you have taken blob. Here you have connection string, SAS token, SAS URL. So this is the token that you use it to access. So this is how you do it. So the way of mechanism to access is this only. This you provide, but you need to provide this key, right? So you use either two things here. Either you go to access keys here, get this access key, or else so here you don't have any control here to set that start date and end date. Every time what you need to come here regenerate. So now you have UDF here, right? Regenerate this. Current key become will invalid and you want to regenerate. Yes. So what happened? You have regenerate now 7 plus C. Now regenerate, rotate here, DHXX. Now regenerate here. So every time you regenerate, what happens? The old key becomes invalid and new key gets here. This is how it happens. Here you can go and generate, you can tell to which. So here you have four services. Go to container. So go to start date, end date. So here you have generate. So you can generate this. So token, SAS token. You can go and generate the token and use it. And you can put this IP address. So what is the set time and end time? So in case, so you might have doubt now. So you're using, so this Azure Data Factory is trying to use this and you have put that start date and end date. So after start end date is over, what does happen? Will that Azure Data Factory is allowed to access that file? Your request will get bounced back. It will not allow you. It will tell you are unauthorized to access that. So whenever you feel like your key is exposed to the outside world, come here and regenerate that key, regenerate this key and replace that key with the old key. So this is how you to feel, because you are onto internet, right? So this is, the people can hack your keys here. But for not hacking, I'll tell you there is other specific keys to put. We'll talk on that. Right. Now this is what is a storage account. Now if you go to data lake store, so we don't have data lake storage generation 2. You can see there is storage 1 only, generation 1. We don't have data lake storage generation 2 separately as a service. So while creating a storage account here, storage account, go there, click here. So here I'll create ADLS Gen 2 store. So 26/11/2021. So next year. So here we have data lake storage generation 2. I'll enable this. Why? Because I want to make this hierarchical namespace not as object. Now go there. Now click on networking, click on data protection, tags here, review place create. Click on create here. Now go to resource now. Now see here. Did you see this data lake store? This is hierarchical namespace is enabled. If you go and see the old one which you created the storage account. Go to the storage. So you can see this hierarchical name. So you see blob service, hierarchical namespace is disabled. Here you see Azure Data Lake Store. This is disabled. Right now. So this is how it is happening. So you can see this icon here. Right here, there's a container. But here you see this is disabled. It is enabled. So this all depends on the architecture, that is underlying architecture. You will not know that. So okay, if you see here, so it is called container right here, container as object. Now go and see for data lake storage generation 2. So see here. So you can see here. Right now, they have put the container. No, this one. So it was called as, here it was a WASBS. Here it is ABFS. What is this? So Azure, A is for Azure, blob, file, system service. There's a file system. So here it has what as file system, here it has a container. This is object and this is a file hierarchy. So what is ABFS? So there also you'll have the same mechanism to access. So yeah, file system, right? So this is similar to the way you create in your story in your Windows Explorer. Okay, this is how it works. But mechanism of accessing both are one and the same. Data lake. So here it is hierarchical link. Here you have access keys, the same thing. Shared access signature, the same thing here also. Right now, same thing. Whether you want whatever you want to do it. So just have this understanding. We'll talk on remaining things tomorrow. So when you get, so this is what is understanding. We don't have anything proof to go and see inside our data stores. This only we know using bookish knowledge and what Microsoft has told. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts before we wind up for the today? If you are good, then we'll wind up. You are there, na? Or I am not audible? I'm
Yeah,
audible.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Srikanth.
you can hear.
Yeah. We'll meet tomorrow. So we'll start. So I've just told you the basic, but tomorrow we'll go with how do you access using SQL Server. This all we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Thank
I have one doubt, like how we can differentiate like which is the development environment and which is the production environment and the
you. Yeah. I'll tell
in
you.
Azure.
Yeah, I'll tell you. There is a different subscription that you can do it. Based on the
Okay,
subscription, you'll identify.
okay,
That is
And,
different subscriptions. Yeah.
and yeah,
okay.
Srikanth, if any one or two classes it may miss, right? Is there any chance to like no
The one thing I'll tell
backup?
you. So one thing I'll tell you is you can will give 2 times to attend the batches. So if at all you have missed this batch, some topics you can attend the next batch also. It's not that there's only one batch.
Okay.
Not that. Or if at all you wanted to
Yeah, and
have done this and you want to have some understanding on the more and you want to attend other batch, will give you. That is not the problem.
okay. Yeah, online videos is there available? Or?
Yeah, you'll give the daily recorded session will be uploaded into Google Drive, but the only thing is you need to get registered. You need to make the payment, then we'll share with you.
Yeah, then it's yeah. That
Yeah,
will be
we'll share
available, right? Anytime.
everything that you can
Yeah.
download. It's not read access. You can download onto your local machine.
Okay.
So we'll give you
Okay.
all the PPT and documents also, whatever we have. This all. So
Okay. Then it's
PPT
yeah.
and this document, this all related to Microsoft One. It's not mine. So don't worry, we'll share you everything. Okay.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, Shika. Thank you.